Are you paying attention? Are you watching, and have you been watching, even just the last couple of months, what has been happening not just here in the United States, but all over the planet? Because if you've been paying attention, then what I'm going to tell you is not a surprise whatsoever. Climate change is not knocking on our door. The impacts of climate change are happening right now in our own backyards. We have two lakes in the American Southwest, Lake Mead and Lake Powell, that are both at dangerously low levels. Mead is projected to get down to 22% of where it had previously been by the end of the year. Powell is expected to drop to 27% of needed levels. These two lakes not only provide, the drinking water through their aquifers for millions of residents, but also one of them feeds the Hoover Dam. And right now, because water levels are so low, because the Colorado River levels are so low, and so on and so forth, it's a chain of events all related to climate change, they're seeing a drop in electricity. And in fact, it may not be too long before the water levels get so low that Hoover Dam is no longer able to generate electricity. And of course, if we do hit those levels, that of course will mean even bigger droughts. People in those areas will have a harder time getting water for them to drink. This is climate change. The fires in California, the floods in St. Louis, the massive crippling heat wave that left scores dead across Europe just a couple weeks ago, all of those are climate change. And again, all of these have happened within the last couple weeks, folks. Climate change is an existential threat. And we know that. The problem is getting people to pay attention. Now, I will give credit to MSNBC because over the last year or two, they have actually spent a little bit more time talking about climate change issues. They have had Dr. Michael Mann come on their programs. He goes on there actually relatively frequently, which is a huge leap forward for the network. I still don't think they give it enough coverage. But as Chris Hayes from MSNBC admitted on Twitter a few years ago, the reason they don't give it enough coverage is because obviously, and we see this on our channel, it doesn't draw in the big crowds. And Chris Hayes wasn't saying, I don't talk about it because people don't watch. He was saying that's basically what the higher-ups at the network at the time were kind of telling them. Like, yeah, you can talk about it, but you're going to lose audience, so we'd rather you not. This is a problem that is fixable, climate change. And that's what we have to remember, at least right now. If we take that action, if we finally make that big leap forward, we can fix this. We might even be able to fix it to the point where we could start reversing it if we act. But if we don't, we could hit that point of no return. It was 2018. 2018, 4 years ago, where we got that report telling us that, hey, we got 12 years. We have until 2030 before the worst effects of climate change basically become permanent here on planet Earth. That was 4 years ago. 4. What have we done since then? We're no longer talking about double-digit years left, folks. We got 8, according to that report. We got 8 years. We have to do more. We can do more. But part of that involves putting people in positions of power that want to do more, that aren't going to be paid off by special interests. The problem is here. You can walk out your front door and see it today. This is not a far-off threat. It's home. And we can fix it, but not without action as soon as possible.
This is Hattie. Hattie wants to know why you have not subscribed to our channel. You obviously like our videos, so do us a favor and subscribe.